More than a sermon, the linguistic Easter eggs hidden in King Benjamin's masterpiece introduction. The king on the tower in the ancient Near Eastern world. A king's final words were more than a farewell. They were a legal legacy, a linguistic last will and testament encoded with identity-shaping puns. Picture an elderly king, Benjamin, standing atop a wooden tower to address a massive assembly. To the casual observer, this is a poignant sermon on service. However, through the lens of a linguistic anthropologist, the scene reveals a high-stakes linguistic puzzle. Benjamin was engaging in a sophisticated display of onomastic wordplay, using the specific meanings and sounds of names to transform the very identity of his audience. In antiquity, names weren't just labels, they were destinies. Benjamin utilized the puns hidden within his own name and the name of his successor to reveal a startling theological truth, that his subjects were no longer just citizens, but royalty. Takue 1. The hidden pun in the king's own name. The name Benjamin is a classic case of Semitic paronomasia. It is a compound of two Hebrew elements, deepen son and in right hand. Traditionally, it is interpreted as son of the right hand, a title denoting power and favor. However, a deeper historian's perspective reveals a layer of geographical irony noted by medieval commentators like Rashi. Yamkan can also mean sooth, as one faces the rising sun, making Benjamin the son of the south. Throughout his discourse, Benjamin creates what scholars call a phonic echo, a deliberate repetition of sounds that would have signaled the audience to pay attention to his name. He pivots between the Hebrew Biman sons and Yemen right hand, to bridge the gap between his earthly identity and the people's spiritual potential. The name Benjamin is traditionally thought to mean son of the right hand, but the idea of right hand is now usually taken to mean south, thus giving son of the south Hebrew Bumin son plus yn right hand suit, south. The elements son and right hand can be heard in this name. Takeaway 2. The throne name revolution in Nephite history. Coronations typically involve the granting of a throne name. Traditionally, every king took the name Nephi to signify their royal office regardless of their birth name. Benjamin, however, initiates a radical departure from this protocol. Rather than bestowing a political title upon a single prince, his son Mosiah, he facilitates a spiritual coronation for the entire nation. Benjamin grants the name of Christ to the people as their collective throne name. This is underscored by a brilliant linguistic Easter egg regarding his son's name. While the people take the name of the ultimate Messiah, they do so at the coronation of Mosiah, a name that is a homophone for the Hebrew term muntai, meaning savior or deliverer. The Nephite transition of identity the old way. The king alone receives a throne name, Nephi, to signify political authority. Benjamin's way, the entire covenant body receives the name of the Montai, granting them status as spiritual heirs. Takue 3. The radical democratization of royalty. Benjamin's rhetoric reaches its peak when he employs royal rebirth formulas, legal scripts traditionally reserved for the king alone. He specifically quotes Psalm 2:7, "Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee," and alludes to Psalm 110:1, "Sit thou at my right hand." The linguistic weight here lies in the Hebrew verb lashwenta, to become. In ancient legal contexts, this verb signifies a transition in status, such as a legal adoption or a servant becoming a son. By declaring that the people have become the sons and daughters of Christ, Mosiah 5:7, Benjamin uses this formula to elevate the common citizen to the status of a Benjamin, a son of the right hand. He effectively democratizes the monarchy, inviting every listener to ascend the throne through the atonement. Takeaway 4. The sinister warning of the left hand. The rhetorical brilliance of the speech includes a sinister warning, literally. In Mosiah 5:10-12, Benjamin warns that those who do not retain the name will be found on the left hand of God. This is a direct antonymic play against his own name, the right hand. To an ancient audience, this wasn't just a directional warning, it was an anthropological reference to Babylonian legal renunciation formulas. In ancient Near Eastern law, a formal divorce or disinheritance often used the formula Ul my tarentai, "You are not my son." Benjamin is warning his people that by rejecting the name, they are effectively performing a legal self-divorce from the divine, resulting in a total dethronement and disinheritance. Linguistic contrast of destiny. Vertical bar, the right hand Benjamin. Vertical bar, the left hand sinister. Vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar status. Likin, become a son. Vertical bar status. Ul mortai, atat, not my son. Vertical bar action. Retaining the name. Vertical bar action. Blotting out the name. Vertical bar result. Enthronement thadi, inheritance. Vertical bar result. Dethronement thadi, disinheritance. Vertical bar. Takeaway 5. Sealing as ancient branding. Benjamin concludes by invoking the imagery of the seal. In the ancient Near East, ownership was established by wrapping an object in string, applying mud, and pressing a signet ring into it. This identifies the object as the segul, a Hebrew term often translated as peculiar, but which technically means private property or royal treasure. This ties the entire Benjamin theme together. The Lord is often depicted as wearing a signet or seal ring on his own Yad Yom bone right hand, Jeremiah 10:24 p.m. By pleading that Christ may seal you his, Benjamin is envisioning the Lord using the signet on his right hand to mark his people. If they are sealed by the Lord's right hand, they quite literally become sons of the right hand. They become Benjamins in the family of Christ. Conclusion. The name written on the heart, the linguistic layers of King Benjamin's masterpiece, were never meant to be mere ornaments. They were designed to facilitate a mighty change of heart by weaving the audience's identity into the very fabric of the king's own name. By utilizing paronomasia, royal rebirth formulas, and the legal language of the segul, Benjamin transformed a political gathering into a cosmic adoption ceremony. In the ancient world, a name defined your essence and your future. If the goal of these linguistic Easter eggs was to move a people from commoners to sons of the right hand, we must ask ourselves, what does it mean for a modern individual to take upon themselves a new name? And are we prepared for the royal destiny that name implies?